Today I would like to tell you how education can change the world. To start with, I have a question for you. How do you feel when you see a person littering in the street? I don't feel very happy about that, and I guess no one here does. However, we see it so often that we almost get used to it. An interesting fact, such small action like leaving your waste outside a litter bin can cause a global environmental problem. How does it happen? Well, firstly, an individual throws a chocolate packet. Then other people follow suit, thinking that a bit more just can't make the situation worse. And after that, entire companies and even countries carelessly do the same. Well, the results are global environmental problems around the world. Among them are massive poisoning of the Atlantic Ocean with plastic waste, or transformation of some African regions into dump piles. It's unnecessary to say that pollution doesn't bring any good neither to us nor to our planet. However, not all of us realize that, and even less people really take care of ecology. And to prove this, let's take a look at our country. Just strolling around any forest in the countryside, we can watch scrapyards, which are not supposed to be here. Some people really think that forests or outskirts are just wonderful places for arranging a trash heap. Other people don't even bother looking for a litter bin, so they just leave their waste in streets of a city center. One more issue is that most people in Russia never use opportunities of recycling. By the way, do you know how much it takes for one plastic bottle to decompose? Up to 300 years, now you know. What's more, aluminium can decompose for about 500 years, and glass decay requires 1000 years. Anyway, why do we ignore all these figures? I guess that the main reasons for that are our irresponsibility, unwillingness to see the bigger picture, and our laziness. A lot of people who have children follow these parents, and their children copy their behavior, so it becomes kind of a vicious cycle. However, last year I learned that such simple thing as recycling can significantly improve our environment. In fact, there is a developed recycling industry that transforms used materials into something completely new. As we take our trash daily, we don't consider that almost all of it can be recycled instead of rotting somewhere and poisoning us. Although the idea seems simple, it is really hard to change ourselves and to start thinking about the global welfare, which is pretty beneficial though. For example, that plastic bottle that you reasonably put into recycling bin, yeah, you, can become very useful one day very soon. Otherwise, well, it will just lie in a junkyard longer than your life lasts. And it's only about plastic, although other stuff can be recycled too. Isn't it fascinating and exciting? Yeah? Well, at least it's exciting for me, and that's why, after I realized all that, I decided to sort out litter at home, and I actually convinced my parents to do the same. It doesn't take much space or time, really. You just need to learn how to do it and to get used to it. And as we all know, the best time in our lives to learn something and to create a habit is childhood. And as you can see on my example, children can adopt not only bad types of behavior. Unlike adults, we are susceptible and impressionable. We are eager to learn new things, right? After my positive experience, I believe that children can become the agent of change. To get this message across to a global community, I think that bringing back ecology education is a great thing. But wait, by education, I don't imply standard lessons with distant facts, tests, and marks. I see these environmental studies as a kind of a project-based club, let's say once a week. Okay, do we really need it? Yes, I believe that enthusiastic young generations should realize their responsibility and try to make this world better. How will society benefit from it then? Well, so the club is community oriented, which means that every student works at least with their friends and families. Finally, how will it look like in general? The club has a clear structure, and to help you to see this distinctly, I suggest you all to imagine yourselves students in such club right now. So, during the first 2 weeks, we are divided into groups. We have project management activities there to develop our communication and to create a well-organized team, not just a bunch of school kids. Secondly, we learn topical theory about main problems and ways of their solution for 3 weeks. Now, it's just crucial to get acquainted with the science of ecology in order to measure our progress and contribution. And finally goes a practical assignment, during which we have a great deal of tasks. For example, reducing our carbon footprint, after we all learn what carbon footprint is, of course. Or spreading some encouraging information to as much people as possible, creating social posters, collecting materials for recycling, planting trees, or just cleaning nature spots from rubbish. Why not? These are just samples because actually tasks depend on our own creativity and imagination. And this requires 5-week-long outdoor activity. And at the end of the whole 10-week period of time, all the teams report about the achievements in the format of final presentation. So, okay, sounds good, but what about motivation? Why should children ever go and pick up rubbish? And a good idea for boosting everybody's incentive is competition. So, at the first stage, students from different grades compete with each other. Then the winner from every age category goes to a district competition. And finally, to a city contest. There is a specialized point system for that, where every person and team gains points. And based on these points, we all get some reward, of course. But the winner takes the first and the greatest prize. So the main criteria for gaining points are number of external people engaged in project, weight of recycled rubbish, and area having been cleaned. So, do you follow me, right? I believe that at the end of every competition period, children and teenagers would become more careful and passionate about our environment. I also think they would manage to convince our parents to change their lifestyle, just like I did. When the participants of this project grow up, they will teach their kids to treat our nature properly, and thus will manage at least not to make environmental situation worse. Thank you.